Hey, yo, I'm Guy, and you may know that I handle logisticals and security for Refashionista Sherry, but maybe you didn't know that September is Refashionista Sherry's birth month. So she decided to give you guys a gift, and for the entire month of September, she is putting out a new tutorial every single day. So that's 30 days of refashioning tutorials. Isn't that awesome? So why not throw a like, leave a comment, let her know what you think of that, and be sure to share too. Let's get more people living more sustainably and reusing and upcycling and thrifting and all that stuff. And you know what? Happy birthday to Refashionista Sherry. Yeah, here's the first tutorial. Enjoy. Today, we're going to take this semi-sheer curtain fabric and this oversized boxy top and create an adorable baby doll dress. So let's get started. So the very first thing I'm going to do is figure out which way I want to cut my fabric. Now, because this is kind of curtain fabric, basically, and quite lovely and semi-sheer. This is actually the leftover fabric from my boho jacket when I transformed the denim dress into a cool boho jacket. And I did ask you guys, what should I make with the rest? A baby doll dress or palazzo pants? And overwhelmingly, you guys said baby doll dress. But you know what? I have so much of this. Look at this. I have so much of this left. I think I will be able to make palazzo pants as well, so yay! But first, let's do the baby doll dress. Okay, as I said, the very first thing I need to do is figure out which way I want to cut this, and because here, this side is finished, and this side is finished, and clearly this polyester fabric is going to, I just gotta barely pull it, and the fraying begins. So, I think I'm gonna cut it this way for the top, so then I can already have finished edges, because if I kind of hold it up to myself and just let it kind of fall on my shoulder there, it's the length or width, I guess it is right now, it gives it like 3/4 sleeves. So anytime I can like skip a step, like having to hem up semi-sheer 1970s polyester fraying fabric, I'm going to do it. And because these edges are already finished, I do not need to hem them. So that's why, for the top at least, we are going to be cutting it this way, so I have my finished edges. And let me know down below if you kind of do that same kind of thing. So as you can see, I have had to lay the fabric out on the floor because my table just is not big enough. And I have folded the top in half there, and I laid my template oversized top on top of it, and I've kind of lined it up here pretty close to the bottom hem, because I will be making it shorter than this actual top, and I do need to hem up this fraying raw edge here. But for now, that's looking pretty good. So now I'm just going to cut off the excess fabric. Jack, don't. Okay. Good boy. Good boy. Not going on the fabric, but keeping your back turned to me because you're ticked off now. So I now have my piece of fabric folded in half again, and that means I have two folded edges at the top and one folded edge on one side, and those finished edges on the other side, and the raw edge on the bottom. So now I'm going to grab my pins and mark the areas that I need to cut out to create my basic top shape. So to do that, first thing I'm going to do is on this little corner right here, I'm going to pop a pin so then I know where the center of the neckline needs to be. Then I'm going to grab another pin and mark this neckline area here just so I have an idea of where I'm going to cut it out. And next, this area here is the bottom of the kind of armhole sleeve area, so I'm going to put a pin a little bit down from that for seam allowance, and one more pin to mark here, the side. So now I have to go chop out this area here, which will then create my sleeves. I'm not going to do anything with the neckline yet. And I now have kind of a lovely half T shape here, which will soon be the top of my dress. So now before I go ahead and stitch up the sides to create the sleeves, first I'm going to just cut out the really basic shape here for the head hole. Now it doesn't have to be big at all, I'm just kind of marking the area for it to be, and if it's too small I can always of course go and cut more. Better too small than too big at this point. So now I have unfolded my fabric, so I just have 2 layers now, and it is in a lovely T shape. And now I'm just going to go and stitch this and this together, so the bottom of the sleeve and the side are going to both get hemmed up on both sides. So now is the time when you can slip it on inside out and check that that head hole and make sure you can get into it, which mine is fine actually. I'm kind of surprised, although I think I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And yeah, the sleeves actually look pretty darn great. So now I have a little pin here, and I'm just going to mark the length I would like the top to be, and I think I want it to be more of an empire type waist, so I'm just going to put it right under my chest there. Okay, perfect. So there's my little pin here, plus I have given myself about 1 centimeter for seam allowance, and now all I have to do is chop it to the right length. And I'm going to widen up my head hole a little bit more. So I had asked you guys across my social media and on my Patreon which groovy vintage trim I should use to finish off the neckline. And it seems that a lot of people agreed with my kiddo and went with this lovely lace one. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bind this neckline here, which, I mean, you can see it's already starting to fray, with this lovely lace. And I have so much of this that I probably will be able to put some around the waistline as well once the skirt is stitched on, just to give it some groovy lacy details. And my adorable lace neckline is complete and looking fabulous. I shall link down below for you guys to the tutorial on my blog that shows how I taught myself how to bind up raw edges. It's actually a jumpsuit tutorial, so enjoy that. And now let's move on to making the skirt for the dress to go along with this top. So to get the correct width for my skirt, and I want the skirt to be quite floofy, I'm just gonna wrap the fabric loosely around my body at about the area where, you know, the skirt is gonna start, and then I'm gonna double that like so. Now, if you want your skirt to be even floofier, then triple that, or just add another 50%. But that's basically all I do to get a nice kind of floofy skirt. And now I'm going to go chop this and sew this into a big tube. So I have my skirt stitched into the giant tube now, and now all I have to do is stitch the top to the skirt, and hopefully it's going to be done, except for except for maybe some embellishments. So I have my top right side out with the back facing up on my table, and I have my long tube skirt inside out. So when I put the top into the skirt, the right sides are going to be facing. La la. Now you can gather this up however you want. You can pre-gather it up and then just kind of try to match it up to the width of the top, or you can gather it as you stitch, which is, I don't recommend it. It's not too easy. Or you can do my method. So the very first thing I do is take this center back seam of the skirt and put it kind of as best as I can in the middle of the top and just pin it there. So then I have, you know, a baseline for how I'm going to do my pin tucks. Then I kind of stretch out the skirt and find where the sides would be and pin that to each side of the top. One side. We have the other side. And now I can take this excess fabric that is here on the back and of course on the front as well, and just do a bunch of nice little pin tucks to match the width of the shirt with the skirt. Does that make sense? Let's hope so. So now I have all of my little pin tucks sorted out, hopefully. Now I can go stitch the whole thing together. So now the top is attached to the bottom, and because it was insanely long, I really misjudged the length somehow. I chopped it to the correct length, and then I had more than enough of that vintage lace left, and I went all the way around the bottom hemline. Plus, I still had more left, so I went around the sleeve hems as well. And now it's time to finally go try it on. I mean, come on. This, again, I have no words. I truly don't know how I managed to make this, and I don't know how the heck it came out so well, but wowza, I love this. Again, I am definitely going to be making more. Do let me know down below if you're going to make this, if you have made this, if you have any tips about, you know, working with this type of polyester sheer fabric, you know, if you don't have a serger, if you have any other tips and tricks other than the ones that I already know, that would be great. Please do share them. But wow, wow, wow. I'm speechless, and clearly that's, I don't know, is it really rare for me to be speechless? Not really, because I usually shock myself, right, about the things that I make when it comes out well, because I have such imposter syndrome that I never think anything is ever going to work out. And so then when it does, it's like, what? Oh yeah, check out my hat. How awesome is that? I actually had this thought to use some scraps from the last tutorial with the jacket that I used this fabric for. And then you guys lovely in the comments, you all said, hey, use some of the fabric and put it on the hat. So that's what I did. All this is the chopped bottom from the top part of this dress, and I just kind of looped it around twice, so I can take it off if I want to, but it's just awesome. So anyway, I hope that you're gonna stick around for the entirety of my 30 days of refashions for my birthday month. And you know what? I'm gonna be 49 very, very soon. So of course I do have something special planned for my actual birthday video. So look out for that. That's coming up in like literally 2 weeks on September 14th. So there we go. And yeah, if you would love to, you know, support my tiny little channel here, please be sure to like, leave a comment, dislike if you don't like something, that's fine. Engagement is engagement, and all it does is tells the algorithm, hey, shoot this video up, send it to more people. And speaking of sending it to more people, please do share your favorite tutorials with your online circles so we can get even more people upcycling, refashioning, and, you know, discovering and creating their own unique style. Like, I mean, this is a pretty unique style right here, I think. And, oh yeah, the playlist for the 30 Days of Refashions will be right at the top on my channel. So, as I said, if you don't come back every single day for every video, there will be a playlist. I'm having a hard time. I'm so excited about this dress. There will be a playlist for you to refer back to if you miss a day, so don't worry about that. And, oh yeah, if you go to refashionistasherry.com, you can actually get a free ebook from me when you sign up over there. And I will also be sending out weekly roundups of the 30 Days of Refashions tutorials. So head on over to refashionista.com, get your free ebook, and yeah, every Friday I'll send out the week's worth of videos to you. So again, there's lots of different ways that you can keep up with me on social media as well. TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, I'm on there. And yeah, until tomorrow, literally, stay safe, stay well, and I'll catch ya on the zigzag.
This is Confessions of a Refashionista.